End the show right now.
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Welcome to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio. We're saving the underground scene. On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
I'm Radio's Rebel DJ style. We're brought to you by Synergy Music Studio out of Chicago. If you need your next track mixed, mastered, produced, or even reamped if you're out of the Chicago area, go to synergymusicstudio.com right now to check out all those services. That text line for the studio is 216-859-8699. Once again, that's 216-859-8699. Why are we talking about babies?
Because they're making bank.
Apparently,
okay, so this one story that I found is that a mom had shared on TikTok that her sons earn money hand over fist working full-time as child models. Her 6-month-old and 1-year-old do shoots for various brands, netting thousands per month.
I don't like that.
At least she said that he hit the mother load, her youngest, in September, earning nearly $45,000 for a Halloween pop-up photo shoot.
Yeah, I don't know if this should be legal.
I don't think so either. Honestly, what are the child labor laws when it comes to children acting and modeling?
First of all, it's one thing to have, I hate the term baby model, but that's what this is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's terrible, and I hate it. And it's one thing to have that, because like Gerber commercials and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or life insurance,
Or
what have you.
Even for one of the instances,
Where are they selling? Topo Chico or something?
it was honestly just a grocery shoot TV appearance. So, like, they were pictured on screen in a grocery store.
I get it. The whole advertising mindset behind it is you want to appeal to families. And if you're a family-friendly brand, that's the target image you want to use, are families with children. I get it. However, it's one thing to do it. It's another thing to have a British baby, too. That's terrible. That's gross. No one wants that. Come on. They're probably like goo goo gaga and weird accents and shit. That's terrible. That's so gross. Regardless, irregardless, I don't think this should be legal. Because why are you allowed to prostitute your baby for advertising?
The thing is, like, I don't know.
Going to Google.
You're gonna look up the child labor
Yeah.
laws for modeling?
Yeah.
I want to know if it's like, is the check made out to the child
No
or the
way.
parents? Because you can't legally pay the parents
way.
for that, right?
You have to. You can't pay the child for it.
If the child is under contract by the modeling agency,
I don't think that's what the contract is. I think the contract's with the parent. Child labor laws in the United States are designed to protect the safety of children and young workers. Minimum age to work in non-agricultural jobs is 14 years old. Children under the age of 14 can only work in jobs that are exempt from Fair Labor Standards Acts, FLSA, such as delivering newspapers or babysitting. Hours. The FLSA restrictions for the hours of minors under 16 can work. For example, 14, 15-year-olds can't work more than 8 hours a day, 3 hours on a school day, or 40 hours a week. They also cannot work before 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m., except between June 1st and Labor Day. That's such a stupid fucking rule. Hazardous occupations. The FLSA prohibits minors under 18 from working in hazardous occupations. Some examples include storing or manufacturing explosives, driving or working as an outside help on motor vehicles, coal mining, and lodging and sawmilling occupations. All states have their own laws regarding child labor laws when federal standards apply to most of these rules. Work permits. In Ohio, minors ages 14 to 17 must have a work permit. Employers must agree with minors on their wages before hiring them. Yeah,
I looked up child labor laws when it comes to modeling.
Yeah.
And it says that Labor Law 151 lays out a number of requirements for an employer to hire a child performer. This includes holding a child performer permit, written consent from one's parent or guardian, and a requirement to provide evidence that one's education is not negatively impacted by their performance. When it comes to California, because it just brought that one up, probably because of LA and Hollywood and all that, a child's age determines the number of hours. For example, in some states, an infant under 6 months is allowed to be on set for 2 hours a day, but can only work for 20 minutes.
What do you mean work? They're not working. They're not doing anything. This should be illegal. If 14-year-olds can't go to the coal mines, infants shouldn't be allowed to make money from modeling gigs.
That's the thing, too, is it...
I'm not advocating for 14-year-olds in coal mines, by the way. But I'm just
Sounds like
saying,
you're in for it. You
I'm
like
just
it.
saying the most successful game other than GTA that's ever been marketed is Minecraft. The children yearn for the mines. And target demo for that is roughly 10 to 15. So the children yearn for the mines. I'm thinking maybe we may have made a mistake. I think safety implications could have been implemented, sure. But I'm not sure abolishing miners mining. It's in the name. Point aside, I'm against child modeling. I'm against children in Hollywood in general.
Yeah, I think that's becoming more and more prevalent these days.
But then again, on the flip side of that, you get the shit we had with like Shakespearean plays where they weren't allowed to have women actresses. So you have men in drag playing women. And then you take all elements of realism out because we've put so many restrictions on the medium itself. So it'd be, people like to go back and watch, I don't know, I'm just going to pull a fucking name. I've never seen 90210 before, but you go back and watch 90210 and all these kids that are supposed to be in high school look like 30 or 40-year-old men.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have more instances of that with stricter child labor laws and acting.
Yeah. I want to know the legality of paying an infant $45,000 a month. Like,
They're not. They're paying the adults.
I feel like that's illegal. The adult didn't do the work.
Yeah, no one's doing work. The child's not doing work either. It's just showing up and being an infant.
But they're still there. They're on the screen. They are the ones being the actor or the model. So
I don't think you should be able to pay them this much money.
yeah, no.
If at all.
Yeah, I feel like it should be a lot lower sum. Right?
I feel like it should be voluntary.
Voluntary.
It's not a need. We don't need children in advertising. If you have to have children in your product to advertise, I think you need a different approach to even if it's a super soaker. You're telling me you can't get 18-year-old super soakers and sell it to a 10-year-old?
I don't know, honestly, because
I think
I'm
you could.
thinking of all the commercials on like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, and they're all children playing with these toys, and they're probably making $45,000 per commercial.
Or their parents are, because they're not. Legally, they're not.
I don't think you're right on that.
I don't think you can write a check to a 15-year-old.
I think you can.
Well, maybe not 15, but
when
like
it comes
8.
to the performance permit, the child performance permit, they probably have it in there that they can be able to make this money, so the check has to be made out to also because the parent, sorry, I'm popping, the parent can't claim this money as their income.
Hang on, real quick. According to SAG, the base rate for a child actor in union per show per day is $1,030 for a 30 to 60 minute show, or $3,575 a week. Child actors also receive a 10% commission for their agent. Child actors may also earn money from endorsements and personal appearance. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't like this at all. They should be paid in the product.
That's fair.
Child actor advertises a super soaker, he gets a super soaker.
I remember.
Because then you don't have parents forcing children into acting careers.
True. I remember when I was younger, my parents took me and my sister to like a child casting.
Here, hang on. Usually, child actors only receive a percentage of their pay, which their parents decide what part they keep and not.
That's ridiculous.
That's kind of what I figured. You're paying the parent essentially, in the name of the child,
well, that makes
or
sense.
vice versa.
Because there was a whole issue. Do you know Honey Boo Boo, right?
Yeah, is she dead or the mom dead? When did the mom die?
No.
All right,
Um,
the fat people.
she was fat. Mama June, hot to not, or
What?
not to hot. There was a whole show about her.
There's a whole show about Honey Boo Boo I didn't watch.
That's true. But there's a whole show.
I see enough fat Americans. I don't
about-
need to watch a show about them. I know it's real.
There was a show about Honey Boo Boo's mom, where it was Mama June from Not to Hot, where she lost a lot of weight and had like her stomach surgery, and they followed her. But she's in a lot of hot water right now because she stole all of Honey Boo Boo's money from when she was a child actor.
If we're talking about that instance specifically, also she's still not thin. I just looked her up.
But I mean, she's a lot better than she used to be.
Okay, I guess this is a more recent picture. She's relatively thin now. Regardless, if we're talking specifically about that instance, what's the name of Honey Boo Boo's a child?
Yes.
What's her real name? Okay. If we're specifically, because I hate fucking saying it, it's so stupid, such a stupid name. If we're specifically talking about that instance, though, I think she should have been arrested. They should have called CPS on her.
I do believe.
Let's
there's
start
a whole-
calling childhood obesity that is not acted on bad parenting and child endangerment. Didn't she have to have like a heart surgery or something when she was a kid? Wasn't that a whole fucking part of the show? It was like she had a bad heart.
Can't remember.
I feel like that's the only thing I remember hearing about that show is like how terrible health this child was in.
Oh yeah, their whole family.
Meanwhile,
was.
they're putting it on national TV and making a shit ton of money so they can buy more Cheetos.
They have,
Not sponsored by Cheetos.
but we'd like to be.
Sure.
Especially the
I don't think they're going to sponsor us after we just shit on them like that, but that's fine.
poor Chester.
What do you mean poor Chester?
Chester Cheeto.
He's
Cheetah.
It's Chester Cheetah. Why poor Chester? He's still their mascot.
Yeah, but you just shit on him.
No, I'm shitting on all the fucking companies.
But I don't remember if she had any kind of like issues specifically. I'm not gonna comment on that because I really don't remember. But I remember they had Mama June, their sister Pumpkin, and Honey Boo Boo, and they were all larger.
They're fat. They're fat. They're all fat. You want to be technical? They're obese. They're morbidly obese. And that's an actual fucking medical term. Because when did we stop caring about childhood obesity in this country? Because I remember when I was in school, fucking Michelle Obama showed up and took all the Doritos out of the vending machine. I was told that was for my own good. And now you're not allowed to call people fat. So fuck you. I'm paying the consequences so your kids can be fat now? Fuck you.
Did they redact Michelle Obama's food stuff?
I don't know, but they found out the food pyramid was wrong like 20 years ago, and then they made
Yeah.
the plate, and they found out the plate was wrong. None of this is actually right. They told us red meat was horrible for you, and like it's one of the most important things you need to survive.
True.
Like,
Well, regardless,
child actors, right?
yeah. Mama June is now being sued by Honey Boo Boo for the money that she had like taken from her.
Good.
She ended up. Mama June bought their house with Honey Boo Boo's money. She bought a car with Honey Boo Boo's money.
That's what I'm saying.
She
The
got-
child actors aren't really getting paid regardless. The parents are. And that's where I think the biggest issue for me is, other than them being in this industry in general and what the industry is, the biggest issue for me is that you have parents that are profiting off their kids because they're forcing them into this kind of thing. We watched the fucking Nickelodeon, what was it called? Quiet on the Set. We watched the
yeah.
Quiet on the Set documentary. That's all that was about, was how all these kids were forced into being child actors and how terrible their life is.
Yeah.
And now Amanda Bynes is back in the news
I
because
saw
she's
that.
doing some shit. I don't even know why she's back in the news. I just know she's scary to look at now.
She is scary to look
And that's
at.
a shame because
But
she
it's
was
not
actually
her
someone who was
fault.
talented.
She really just got messed up by the industry.
Yeah.
and
I wonder how much her parents made off that because you don't hear about her parents.
That's yeah, because she got
Yeah, she emancipated from
Yeah.
her parents at 16 or 17, whatever it was.
with help from Dan Schneider.
Yeah, Dan Schneider helped her become a non-legal adult at 17, 16. 216-859-8699. Send me your headshot.
Was live at 5.
Stop saying Daryl the Wild Man show as if it was like a show that was on it. Well, that's not a thing.
Every Monday on WSRR Radio.
Hey, welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio, brought to you by GenericClothes.com. Speaking of industries that are fucked, look at the box office stores and those big brand clothing companies. No one cares about the details. Get to the point. It's easy for me to say. It's a lot easier for you to go to GenericClothes.com and check out their entire litany and lexicon of incredible shirts like sports team, political ideology, and a whole bunch of other shirts brought to you at a low cost and does the same thing that those big brand clothing companies do. Don't pay extra for a black swoosh or a red box. Go to GenericClothes.com because nobody cares about the details. Get to the point. We talked about child actors a little bit in the last segment, and I want to say that during the break I got a text from Ethan who wanted me to bring up Corey Feldman as well because that's a great example of the industry absolutely abusing children. And I'm going to bring up Drake Bell as well because we had this whole conversation. I didn't bring him up, and I feel like that's very off character.
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin was hooked on crack for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Most child actors don't grow up very nicely.
No, why? we have SAG, which is the Screen Actors Guild, right? I know we have another segment to talk about, but we have SAG, which is the Screen Actors Guild, which did the whole fucking movement about standing up for actors and writers and people that produce for Hollywood, right? And 9 times out of 10, it's because they want to get paid more. We have writer strikes constantly, and movies get halted constantly because they want to get paid more. Why don't we have this kind of union for child actors?
Well, apparently there is a union for child actors.
Well, I mean one that's about safety of child actors.
You know, that's a good question.
You'd think, and I'm not calling anyone out here, but you'd think people like a Corey Feldman or Amanda Bynes or a Drake Bell or these Macaulay Culkin, these child actors who have been through this, would be the ones advocating for something like that.
No, they're the ones advocating to not put your children through acting.
Equally as good point. 216-859-8699, the studio line to text in your opinions on child actors and the industry as a whole. But right now we're going to move on to an ex-NASA astronaut. Easy for me to say. I'm doubling my speed today. You may have noticed that we're missing a voice. And while that's being brought up, I just want to say, take a moment, consideration. It is January 6th today. So let's take a moment of silence and recognition of the historic monument that is January 6th. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Raw going to Netflix tonight. Off of the USA Network for the first time in like 20-something odd years. I mean, they went to TNT and TNN, but we don't talk about that aspect of it. Raw. Yes, January 6th, the historic day where Raw goes to Netflix.
Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing.
And that's why Shane's not here.
Yeah.
Something about Raw and Netflix and probably nothing else.
He's got to get ready. He's so
He
excited.
did say he was getting ready earlier. I don't know where he's going, but he said he was getting ready. Regardless, ex-NASA astronaut who nearly collided with 2 metallic orbs while piloting a plane reveals that he has no visible means of propulsion he can explain on either of them. So this man was a NASA astronaut. He piloted one of their flights, presumably not to the moon, because I feel like you'd know those people's names. However, we've made like 9 moon trips, apparently, and we don't talk about any of them but the one, which didn't happen.
Question.
I do question. I question the space travel a lot, but go ahead.
My question is, do we actually pilot these rockets? Don't they just like go?
I feel like you pilot them as much as a plane, right? You don't really pilot a plane anymore.
I mean, you are in charge of like takeoff and landing.
I feel like you do the same thing on a fucking rocket.
No, because
you flip a few switches to turn the thrusters on and off. It can't be that hard.
That's on the ground.
It really can't be that hard.
They do the explosion and it
Yeah,
goes,
but you got to have the guy in the cockpit doing it.
I don't think so. Well, regardless, this pilot, quote unquote, unsure of the actual logistics of that.
No, he's a pilot not because of he's an astronaut. He's also a pilot. He flies a plane. That's where he saw these orbs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I thought he saw them in space.
No, didn't see him in space.
Saw him in
Earth, yeah. On Earth, technically you're in Earth. You're not on Earth.
Yeah, he's not on.
You're not technically on air. You're in air.
Yeah.
Again, sidetracking today.
But
just ranting today, honestly.
He probably didn't go to the moon. He was probably a
we don't know
back and forth from the space station.
We could probably find out. But yeah, no, that's probably what it was. Back and forth from the space station or some kind of asteroid mission, whatever the fuck NASA does. Losing tomatoes in the International Space Station, I guess.
Yeah.
But this astronaut former NASA astronaut, now a pilot, was flying a plane on Earth and encountered 2 metallic metal orbs that he said he almost ran into. They were going the opposite direction he was, like 200 miles per hour, just flew past him in the opposite direction. And he said there was very clearly just 2 orbs floating there. He approached them. They went right past him in the opposite direction, and they had no propulsion on them. He didn't feel any drag when he passed by them like you would a plane or anything else. And he was trying to figure out what it was. And at first he didn't think anything of it. And then the more and more he went back to try and figure out what exactly he saw, all of his theories he ended up essentially debunking himself. He thought, okay, well, maybe this is some kind of military, tech that they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but why would they not be flying it in a military airspace? Why was it just in normal airspace? Why was there no mention of it for air traffic?
Yeah, there should have been, if it was military or anything that was already planned,
right.
The FAA would have known about it and would have made...
Federal Agriculture Authority.
No.
Oh. Aviation Authority? Is that what it stands for? Federal Aviation Authority?
Association?
Association?
Maybe.
I feel like it's more of an authority than association.
You know, they do have the authority.
They do have the authority to associate with aviation.
Federal Aviation Administration.
I told you it was administration. But yeah, no, the more and more he would look at it, the more and more he would say, okay, well, there's no feasible explanation of what this was and why there was no resistance when it blew past me, why these were in the air where they were. And he does some backtracking, trying to find any semblance of these metallic orbs, right? And what, they could be linked to. And the only thing he can find is an article from, I believe, Iran or Iraq, one of the two. America confuses them all the time, so it really doesn't matter. Saudi Arabia takes our oil and we go to war with Iraq. So, rant aside, tries to track these down and finds that there's unidentified flying objects, UFO reports, over Iran with the same description, these silver metallic orbs. So the whole moral of the story is this astronaut on Earth thinks he encountered extraterrestrial life. However, he also goes on to say that he believes there's extraterrestrial life, but because the universe is so vast, he doesn't think in our lifetime we will ever encounter extraterrestrial life. So he's left at a loss of what these are.
I feel like it's kind of hard to just say that we'll never experience extraterrestrial life if it exists. I mean, I understand that the universe and everything is just so vast and it's huge, but you're telling me that we've never, ever had aliens on Earth?
I know we talk about this part all the time, and I have two theories when it comes to aliens, or any kind of extraterrestrial, non-human beings. I'm not talking lizard people. I think one, spacecrafts, UFOs, UAPs, they call them now, right?
That's what I was trying to think of. They're not UFOs anymore.
No,
They're...
unidentified aerial phenomenons,
Yeah.
UAPs. I don't think it's unidentified. I think it's something else. Unidentified aerial phenomenon is what I'm going to go with. Correct
Okay.
me if I'm wrong. 216-859-8699 to text in. But UFOs and UAPs are time machines. If there's going to be time travel invented, it exists currently, because that is how time works. If you invent time travel 200 years in the future, it exists today because you have that capacity to travel back to today. Theoretically. I know we've talked about a couple different variations of time travel. We can check out our October conspiracy episodes for that. I think this year we did one on time
Yes, we
travel,
did.
right? So go back and listen to October. Of course, all conspiracy till October long. There's also a conspiracy section in the WSRR Discord. But my theory has always been that UFOs, UAPs, they're different makes and models, just like a car. So that's why you have different varying reports of them. You have some that are like the saucer type. You have Zeppelin-looking UAPs. You have these orbs, I guess, now. And it's just like you take a Monte Carlo from 1997. You take a Monte Carlo from 2002, and they're going to look slightly different, but you can know it's a car, right? That is my opinion on UAPs, UFOs. I think they're time machines. I think that's why they're so hit or miss. They're not supposed to be able to be tracked, and they're different makes and models from different years they existed.
So, expanding upon that,
Sure.
do you believe that they're piloted by people or aliens?
I think there's people in them. What do you call an alien? Are we referring to alien as specifically something outside of our universe? Because
Yeah.
alien could mean just foreign to any land. We have illegal aliens that are just foreign to the United States. I think they're alien to our time. They're from another time. But I'm not certain they're alien in terms of little green men.
Okay. Or because I mean the time traveling aspect does make sense, because even if they were from the very far future, they are going the people, I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to look different than we do. So maybe they've just been seen once or twice and people are like, "Oh, those are aliens. They look funny." But they're just people from...
You think it's like the South Park goobacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all just one monotone skin tone and
Yeah.
jumpsuits eating chicken sandwich. I don't think that's what it is. I mean, South Park's pretty on the nose about a lot of things, but I don't think that's our future yet. Not yet, anyway.
What if these orbs are
TBD.
just that statue that went flying around New York? You remember
What?
the big balloon silver
the
orb?
balls. That was in Chicago, wasn't it?
I think you're thinking of the bean, friend.
I think I'm thinking of big balls in Cowtown. I thought you were talking about the monolith at the start of that, but that's another shape that's silver and floats. 216-859-8699. Send me your UAP findings.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Melissa.
And hey, it's Matt.
Coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
Your dad didn't leave for cigarettes. He's out in the car, listening to the Rebel Radio Show.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show. We're live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio. You don't need to go to Fret.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you know. You know when you go to... I can't
Oh
say
my.
that sentence. Let me try and break it down for you real quick.
Go slow. One word at a time, okay?
You know when you go to show your friend that song you've been listening to recently?
Yeah.
And you're really excited to show it to them, and they just don't seem to actually give a shit once they're listening to the song? It's a lot easier to get your friend hooked onto music when you got something cool to actually show them instead of just a file on your phone. That's where Hellbender Vinyl comes in. Go to hellbendervinyl.com right now and get your next album, single, or EP pressed on custom vinyl records. Yes, Hellbender Vinyl works with local and independent artists to get brand new custom vinyl records pressed just for you, just the way you want them, in a whole variety of colors and designs to fit your liking. So make your next album release something special. It's a lot easier to say When you go to hellbendervinyl.com, you can just read it all for yourself. You don't have to rely on me. With that being said, what the hell are we talking about in this third segment now?
I don't know. You threw me off.
I threw myself off. Oh, Russia, of course.
Oh, yeah,
of course we're talking about Russia. We're talking about the Putendo 64. No, that's not a meme. We're talking about the Putendo 64. So apparently, Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, quote-unquote president of Russia, claims that he is going to ban Xbox, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo from Russia, at least the continued sale of them, I would assume. I don't think they're going to be going around smashing Xboxes. I could be wrong.
They could, he could ask them to shut down the servers for Russia.
I suppose that could work.
And then they would just be null and void.
So all it says is he's ordering the creation of a new Russian video game console. It doesn't say he's destroying the old ones. Yeah, no, he's making an official government order that he wants a Russian video game console.
How Kim Jong-un of him.
Yeah, you know?
It's kind of dictator-ish.
Well, he's kind of a
Is
dictator.
he a dictator?
Well, no, he's a president,
Yeah.
in quotes. But they're still very much a communist country.
That's fair.
Like, people seem to think that once the KGB, quote-unquote, fell, that the Soviet Union ceased to exist in communism. See, Russia's still communist. There's two, and I'm getting into history now. Perestroika and perestroika. One means to destroy and one means to rebuild. And if you go back and look it up, they used the term of rebuilding when it came to communism. They didn't destroy communism, they rebuilt it under the ruse of democracy. They're still very much rooted in communism. That's why Russia aren't good guys. I'm not saying anyone else is good guys, but I'm saying Russia aren't good guys. To that effect, you're not allowed to make video game consoles in Russia if they're not Russian, apparently.
I wonder how well it's going to turn out.
It's not. It's not going to turn out good.
Does Putin have his own board of video game designers,
No,
or is
for
this
sure
just going to
not.
be the shittiest little plug and play you've ever had in your life?
So it's the Putendo 64 is what it's Putindo off of the Nintendo 64.
Is that allowed?
That's my number one concern. That's not my number one concern, actually. I lied. Let's go back to the beginning here. Putin is ordering a Russian-made video game console with the aims to destroy and shun Western technology in Russia. Like you said, that sounds very North Korea. They're not too far off. My interesting point here, and I think Putin has gotten more and more crazy over the years, but my thing that I keep getting hung up on is Russia is not to the extent of North Korea by far.
Correct.
They have access to the outside world.
Mhm.
They're not completely locked. They're aware of what's going on. They can go on Google in Russia. I can get on Xbox and talk to someone in Russia right now.
But you can leave Russia.
You can, you can try to leave Russia at least. But they're aware of the outside world, whereas North Korea is not. So we talked about North Korea. They have 3 stations over there TV-wise. And they have their own North Korean internet browser, and they have because everything has to be, it's like the Truman Show for North Korea.
And it's constantly spewing propaganda for Kim Jong-un and
How
North
great
Korea.
North Korea is, right. And North Korea has their own video game console that is a bootleg of the Wii. That is just, or at least that's the only one that I know of. I'm sure there's other ones, but they have a bootleg of the Wii, and it's just a really shitty, quickly, hastily put together Wii that doesn't really work very well. And it's just a North Korean version of the Wii. This is what they're doing with the Putendo 64. But, you have Xboxes and PlayStations there. You know how video games work. So, if their goal of your mission here is to shun Western technology and promote Russian homegrown technology, why are you modeling it off of
the Nintendo?
The Nintendo 64?
Yeah, well, maybe he has an affinity for the Nintendo 64.
And a lot of people do,
Yeah.
A lot of people love the Nintendo 64. Maybe Putin's hitting the nostalgia market. Maybe he's done his research and is you know what, retro gaming is taking off. We're going to invest all of our country's stock into retro gaming. Which, if Russia starts dumping money into video games in general, I think it's a win for the rest of the world.
Yeah,
because that's
that's
less money
fair.
they're allocating elsewhere. But I don't think Putin making his own N64 is gonna take off.
Oh no, not at all. But I would like to get my hands on one.
Well, there's got to be video game designers in Russia, right? There's got to be games that come out of Russia if they're available in Russia.
Yeah.
What do you think it's like playing a Call of Duty in Russia?
Oh yeah, because it's based on America, isn't it?
Well, no, it's based off of, well, at least the first handful were based off of actual wars. So, like, if you're opposing Russia in Russia, you think they ban certain Call of Duties? They probably do that, right?
Yeah.
They've got it. Like, Homefront, the whole game is against communist Russia and China. So, like, there's no way you're playing Homefront in Russia on the 360, right?
I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to.
You think I was gonna ask. You think Russians are that nationalistic?
Well, I mean, imagine if there was a Russian game that came out in America that was
People would love it. People would love playing it, like, unironically.
Russia against America.
Wolfenstein is huge.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, so and there's two versions of Wolfenstein. There's the original PC where it's just Doom, but you're fighting Nazis.
Okay.
And then there's the new Wolfenstein, which is essentially the same game in 3D, but, like, all of the marketing was very heavily like, look at these badass Nazis. Like, that's not a good marketing strategy, number one, but the game sold like crazy. So, like, I would bet, and if you go on Steam, there's probably a good amount of, like, bootleg games, because people love cringe lore now. But I guarantee you people would play a game from Russian perspective.
Against
of a war.
America.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Interesting.
Well, because you do it on, like, Counter-Strike anyway. You have terrorists and counter-terrorists, right? So it's just like playing a team deathmatch online, because someone has to be the opposition. And as long as your team wins, that's all you care about. You're not really focused on, when you're playing multiplayer, you're not really focused on what the teams are.
Okay. That's fair. I don't know why I was thinking, like, Americans would be all like, no, fuck that game. It's against America.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. But Putin wants to make an N64. And my first thought was the Soulja game, which, again...
Oh, I forgot about the Soulja Boy.
Why didn't he call it the Soulja Boy? Why didn't Soulja Boy call his game line the Soulja Boy?
It probably would have sold.
It was bootleg Game Boys. It was bootleg Nintendo products. It was literally drop-shipped products from China that he got... He pressed... Is he in jail? Is Soulja Boy in jail?
I don't know if he's in jail.
Check that. He definitely got, like, sued for it, hardcore.
I wonder if he cranked that.
I wonder if anyone got their Soulja game.
I hope so. If somebody got their Soulja game, it better go on auction for, like, millions of dollars.
No, Soulja Boy was released from jail in July 2019 since he completed his probation. I don't know if this is for that charge. I don't know if this is for the Soulja game. But in 2019, he was sentenced to 240 days in jail and 265 days of community service.
Oh, he was released early for good behavior and overcrowding.
No, this wasn't for his Soulja game. There's a loaded weapon and a car charge.
Well.
What happened with the game? Because he was being sued by Nintendo.
I wonder if it was like...
You don't just get sued by Nintendo. You get sued by Nintendo.
That's what
The man who was named Bowser that Nintendo sued?
I forgot about that.
Because his name was legally Bowser and they sued him for it?
That's what I'm wondering with the Putendo 64. If it looks at all like the Nintendo 64, is that grounds for a lawsuit against Russia?
Yeah, you've got to think. I'm feeling that the Putendo, the Putendo 64 is probably a placeholder title, right? He's probably not going to call it the Putendo 64.
No, I feel like it's in the government paperwork in this order that it's called the Putendo 64.
Tetris was made by a Russian.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
I'm just trying to read about why
the last big game to come out of Russia, Tetris.
Yeah. There's a console called the Dendy. The Dendy was Russian. It was basically a knockoff ColecoVision called the Dendy. It came out of Russia. Maybe it was a knockoff N64. It was one of the two, and it was what the Putendo is sounding like, honestly. But apparently Putin has a heavy fucking following in video games.
That's crazy. I wonder if
Following heavy sanctions since Putin's invasion of the Ukraine, the top Xbox, PS5s, and Nintendo consoles are no longer being imported to Russia. So they can't get them.
so he's making
So
a
he said
replacement.
they can't get the consoles because Nintendo's like, well, you're at war with an ally, so we're not going to send you consoles from Japan. And Putin's like, well, you know what? No, actually, we don't like Western culture's the reason, and I'm making my own Putindo 64.
Why doesn't he just stop the war?
Wow. For games? I don't think that's why. I don't think Putin stops a war for games, unlimited games, but no bacon. I don't think that's what Putin's doing here. He says, is this a quote from Putin? I hope my colleagues will approach this task with full responsibility and come up with something truly groundbreaking. That's a Russian representative. Okay. That's crazy.
I mean, you can call Putin a Russian representative, right?
He is the Russian representative. This platform should primarily serve the goals of promoting and popularizing domestic video game products, expanding their audience beyond PC and mobile games. That's so weird.
I wonder if they're going to approach the turning off the servers and like making the Putindo 64 the.
Well, so they're acknowledging they don't have the means to compete with an Xbox or PlayStation in this article. So you'd think, are they making a purely retro game? Or is it just going to be a really shitty bootleg console?
Well, you said it was going to be a cartridge game, right?
I think it's going to be a cartridge-based game,
Nintendo 64. Then it's going to be a really shitty game.
Well, Nintendo uses cartridges still. The Switch uses cartridges.
I wonder if it's going to be a Switch-style cartridge or if it's
maybe.
going to be like the old
I think, listen, if you really want
cartridge.
here's what Putin needs to do to get some public opinion on his side. The PSP, the Putin portable, that's what you call it, the Putin portable, and you have the PSP style with the little compact CD-ROM disc, because those were way ahead of their time. Even though they scratched to high hell, you bring back the little compact CD-ROM disc because everyone will love that nostalgia. And you really, instead of locking into early 90s nostalgia, you lock into early 2000s nostalgia because that is where the market is right now. We're in a time where early 90s nostalgia is starting to fade because people who grew up in the early 2000s are becoming adults. So you need to capitalize on early 2000s nostalgia. Putin, if you want to hire me as head of your marketing team, we can talk.
No.
I'm not moving to Russia. I'm not helping you in war. But we can talk strategy when it comes to video games, because I think you're going about this the wrong way.
You really want to be Putin's game advisor?
That'd be a hell of a title. Putin's game advisor. Go to an E3 summit as like Putin's game advisor. It's a pretty good title.
The Russian president's game advisor has arrived at
The president of Russian gaming. That's a pretty good title.
President of Russian gaming.
It's a pretty good title. I'm not opposed to advocating video games to Vladimir Putin. I think it's an untapped market.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah, because it's crazy.
well, again, as long as we're allocating money there and not other places, I think it's a win-win all around. I don't think anybody should be opposed to Russia developing their own video game consoles. I really don't.
Okay.
What is the negative of it? Nintendo loses money? Fuck Nintendo.
I guess. Yeah, because I mean, I don't really care if Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation loses money, or Sony, my bad.
Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo losing money in Russia is not going to affect their sales anywhere else.
True.
Because they've already stopped shipping there.
Yeah. So they already are aware of that loss, and they don't even care.
It's going to be some weird collector's item in 20 years. That's what it's going to be.
The Putindo 64?
The Putindo 64 is going to be some weird collector's item, just like the Soldier game probably is if any of them shipped.
I really just want to get my hands on a Putindo 64 once they're released. I wonder if you can. Like, if they'll be able to be shipped.
You can buy it online?
Yeah.
They probably won't ship it to America.
Probably not.
You can probably get on eBay.
That'd be awesome.
You can get stuff from Russia on eBay, I'm sure.
Can you?
Well, Russia has access to. I know we're talking in circles at this point. They're not They're not North Korea, and you can get North Korean games on eBay. So, like, if you can get North Korean stuff, you can get Russian stuff.
I mean, that one guy picked up North Korean TV.
See, now, if I was positioning myself as a game advisor, I don't think I would work with Kim Jong-un as a game advisor.
Okay, so there is a line.
That's
to
where
be
I draw the
drawn.
line, yeah.
Okay.
There is a line. And that is solely because I don't think he'll listen to me.
That's fair. He'd probably get really mad over like anything that you said.
Like, don't get me wrong, Putin would probably kill me too.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I could sit down at a board meeting and be like, guys, here's the plan for marketing a retro console in 2025.
Well,
and someone in Russia would listen to me. I don't think someone in North Korea would listen to me.
You know, I think you actually have a point.
I always do.
But I don't know how well this is going to go over. I mean, they obviously still can't get Xbox and PlayStation in Russia, so there has to be a new some type of console.
Does there?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've proven that gaming has become exponential. Like, there's PC gaming, there's everything, and it's
Well, that's
grown.
the thing. You can still get a PC in Russia. So I think they're just going to see a boom in PC gaming. Because even in the article, whoever their game advisor is currently... What a fucking slacker. I could do a better job. Whoever their game advisor is currently speaking on this are talking about competing with PC and mobile games. Because he says we're not going to be able to compete with Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo. So we said it's an alternative to PC and mobile games. So I think really what this is going to boil down to is if they continue to have this ban on sending game consoles to Russia, I think it's just going to be a larger market for PC gaming. Because there's a larger market now than ever anyway for PC gaming.
What if they cease sending PC gaming parts or like the computer parts?
I don't think so.
to
I just
Russia?
don't think so. I just don't think so.
You don't think that the Nintendo 64 is going to be the future of Russia?
No, not at all. No, I think the Nintendo 64, if it is released at all, will sell like 500 copies. 500 consoles. Because then you need to develop games for this new system. And I don't think they will. I think they will do what every bootleg system does, and I think they'll try and port existing games. And I think it will then just become a knockoff system, and I think Nintendo is going to sue them.
I do think Nintendo's going to sue them,
If
especially because of the name.
I was going to say, if they go with Nintendo 64, they're going to get sued.
And if they plan on making it look anyway like the Nintendo 64, the patent is probably going to be an issue.
Another reason that Putin should hire me as his game advisor. We've managed to avoid lawsuits from Nintendo. If you go to WSRR shop, you can get the entertainment specialist t-shirt and hat and other stickers and such and cups.
Now they're going to get us.
What do you mean? It's nothing like it. Some people said it has reminded them of playing the Nintendo, though.
Okay.
Yeah. It's totally independent property. I
Really-
made that logo.
Really threading that
I
line
made
there.
that logo.
It's true.
You can't tell me I didn't make that logo. WSRR shop. Go to WSRradio.com. Hit the click shop and support button to get there.
You know how you can get the off-brand fake Nintendo 64s that are just like they don't have the cartridges.
Yeah,
but
it's just like a cherry pie.
loaded with
or apple
all
pie. What do they call them? Raspberry pie.
Raspberry Pi.
Just thinking about pie.
You like pie?
I like pie.
They have those type of games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, there's bootlegs.
I feel like that would be more of a route to go in than actually making the
That's what I'm
cartridge
saying they're
games.
doing. I don't think they're actually going to make a game system and develop games for it.
If
Because then you have
anything-
to have licensed games.
They're
Or
gonna
you're
have
going to make your own.
Off-brand Mario. Well, yeah, because I mean, it's going to be.
I don't
probably
think they're going to
Putin.
have off-brand Mario. I think they're just going to steal games.
Putino.
Not Putino. I think they're just going to steal games like any other bootleg console does. Because I don't see Bungie being like, shit, we got to mark the next Halo on the Nintendo 64. I don't think Master Chief is coming to the Nintendo. I don't think Solid Snake is coming to the Nintendo. I don't think Madden's coming to the Nintendo.
Can we get Animal Crossing on the Putendo?
Probably not. Probably not. We'll probably get a knockoff of Animal Crossing. New Leaf. 216-859-8699. Send me your Putendo pre-orders.
Are you ready, kids? It's me, distinctively non-copyright, unspecified Sponge Man, and you're listening to the Rebel Radio Show on WSRR. Make the switch.
Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on this Monday evening on WSRR Radio, saving the underground music scene. On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Style, and we're brought to you by Synergy Music Studio out of Chicago. So if you need your next track, album, or EP mixed, mastered, produced, if you're in the Chicago area, you can take advantage of Synergy Naked, which is their live video performance sessions, and get that fully produced as well. Or even if you're not in the Chicago area, you can take advantage of reamping. Synergy Music Studio will take your old tracks and run them through whatever kind of amp you need to get the sound you desire. Again, synergymusicstudio.com is the homepage for all of their services and more details. To get started today with Synergy Music Studio, that text line for us, 216-859-8699. That's 216-859-8699. If you're listening along on this Monday evening live, you can go to WSRRradio.com. Of course, that's the homepage for all of our content. You can go to radio or us-radio.com. Again, not sure who put us there, but thanks for that. us-radio.com is a way to listen. SynergyMusicStudio.com is a way to listen, or download the Live 365 app on your smartphone or in your car to take us with you wherever you go. Pair us with your car stereo, your Bluetooth, your headphones, anything that connects you to the internet connects you to WSRRradio.com and all of our content that we produce.
I just want to let you know, the other day, I was waking up from my slumber, and I heard myself, like, speaking in my sleep, and that, like, woke me up. And you want to know what I was saying?
What was that?
216-859-8699.
What was that number?
216-859-8699.
What's that number for?
WSRR Radio. I actually woke myself up with our number, and I was like, are you serious? What is happening?
Normally, I wake myself up with the Lo-Fi Wake Up weekdays, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on WSRR Radio.
I should start doing that.
It's 3 hours of Lo-Fi to either wind down your night or start your morning off right. Again, that's the Lo-Fi Wake Up, 3 to 6 a.m. on WSRR Radio.
What a cheap plug.
All right, we're going to talk about other things other than ourselves today.
I guess we
All right.
can.
Where's East Bay at?
That is in Concord, California. So, what?
East Bay, Concord, California?
It's...
Is it a subsection of, like, how
it's
Parma's
like the
Cleveland?
East Bay of California.
I don't think that's right.
I don't know, man. From what this says, it's from from Concord, California.
Yeah, I'm reading it. It just doesn't make sense.
East Bay Peruvian restaurant.
By the way, shout out to Channel 4. I'm assuming this is from San Francisco. So shout out to Channel 4 in San Francisco. KRON is your fucking call sign. You could have had corn so easy. Why didn't you just go with corn?
Well, because they can't turn the R back the other way.
Yeah, good job. You could have went with corn. Corn would have been so good. Not K-Ron. Come on. K-Ron sounds like a defunct GTA radio station. Why didn't you go with corn?
Because they're not from Ohio.
Corn's not from Ohio.
We have a lot of it.
Okay. Anyway, East Bay.
A restaurant in California has been in a very long legal battle regarding a ladies' night that they held every Wednesday night for approximately 3 hours, where drinks and stuff were half price for women. They got sued because apparently it's discrimination for ladies' night. And now, due to the legal fees and extended legal battle, they are closing their doors. They actually they closed down December 31st last year, 2024, due to this.
This is where we're at, huh?
Yep.
We're suing bars over ladies' night?
Yep.
I'm surprised that didn't come sooner, I'm not going to lie.
You know, I agree. With everything that's going on in, like, I don't want to say it, but, like, transgenders and everything.
Yeah, the trannies.
Okay.
Yeah. What about them?
Like, I feel like we would have heard about this situation a lot sooner in the year last year.
I don't think trannies are going to bars that have ladies' nights. I think trannies are going to tranny bars.
They could, but I feel like a lot of like transgender women have
Men, you mean?
they want to be recognized as a woman, and so they would go to a ladies' night, and then they're not gender passing.
I feel like you're asking for it if you're going to ladies' night as a man dressed like a lady. Speaking of ladies. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on?
We have Jake Underwood joining the studio, reading the...
Yeah, no, to catch you up, East Bay Restaurant announces closure amid a ladies' night discrimination lawsuit. They got sued because ladies were getting drinks half off, and that's discriminatory. It actually has nothing to do with trannies. We just brought that up.
Equal rights.
Equal fights, am I right?
Wow, real quick, look at these.
New mic flags.
That's fancy.
Welcome to
as hell.
2025.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, look at that.
Hold on. There we go.
Hi, welcome.
Oh, hey. Oh, notice who's sitting here. Because it's my spot. Kiss my ass, Shane.
We don't know where Shane is.
I think we know where he is.
What? So I got a...
I had to stretch.
No, I got a text earlier that he was under the weather. And then he said he was getting ready to go somewhere. I'm assuming the doctor's office. Haven't heard from him all day. His Snap Maps says something about being in D.C.
Oh.
So maybe you had a specialist
Part
you had to
two?
go to. I don't know. But hey, happy Jan 6th.
Yeah.
Raw going to Netflix.
That's right.
Look at that. 3 hours of Raw Netflix
Only thing
night.
I can think of that's ever happened on January 6th.
Listen, I'll say this. Whether you're for it or against it, January 6th is a very, very historical day. It's going to be in history books from here forward. It's going to be a monumental day.
But
because
no, hold on.
WWE
No,
going
I'm
streaming
going to
is
tell you
crazy.
no, because it really pisses me off because it's taking away a right that people have
What's that?
to watch wrestling.
I think
If
it's
you don't have
increasing that.
Netflix, then you can't watch wrestling.
I don't get the USA Network.
You know what's funny?
Is he in shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Seth Williams was
Yeah.
talking about, and they brought up a good point. I don't think I've watched USA Network besides Raw.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I couldn't tell you. And they, it's a rape culture and everybody bitches about it, but they watch the all day Law and Order SVU episodes. But it's a rape culture. We can't. But we'll watch Law and Order SVU all day.
We're coming out swinging in
'Cause,
2025.
that's how we handle those things. Technically,
Yeah.
I'm not under contract anymore, so I could talk and say whatever I want. Some things have happened, whatever. It's fine. I still got an invite on the 20th, though,
He said
so I
some
will be
things
there.
have happened.
I got to rent a tux. It's going to be great. But
Striper's going places.
dude,
Yeah.
Stryper, Metallica, the Beatles, all of them are going to be there. It's going to be
the Beatles. I'm out.
The Beatles.
I'm out.
The singular Beetle.
Dude, my mom got me a Beatles shirt.
I'm sorry.
For Christmas.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why she did it. I think it's because a long time ago, I had a John Lennon Imagine shirt, but it was from the 70s.
Oh, yeah?
Like it was a legit buy them.
Should have just imagined there's no snub those there series.
That's what I was going to do, but I didn't. And anyways, but yeah, so I open it, and I mean, I could respect. I know you can't, but I can respect the Beatles and their place in history. I get it. I understand it, and I appreciate them for it. But I open it, and it just says the Beatles in their Abbey Road, and I'm like, cool.
So, ladies' night.
Yay. But yeah, oh yeah, ladies' night.
Yeah, sorry to get back.
Yeah,
on
equal
track
rights
here. Yeah, like I said last week, though, real quick, 2025, we're switching to political talk, so obviously Jake Underwood had to be here for that. So here
Does
we
Shane
are.
know that?
He's our man on the street. In the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ladies' night.
I don't understand how ladies' night for 3 hours a night on Wednesdays can be discriminatory. Discriminatory?
I understand the claim, right? Because ladies are getting half off drinks, right?
Mhm.
However, and I think it says it somewhere in the article, the owner goes on to say that it's not discriminatory to men. They're still paying the normal price. It's a specialty for one night for 3 hours for ladies. It's just like we talked about in Japan. There's a restaurant that came under fire because they charge locals less than
right.
tourists, but the price that tourists are paying is the price that's on the menu. The locals are getting a discount. It's not the advertised price. So if you go to a bar expecting to not pay the advertised price, I don't know what to tell you.
But that Japanese restaurant probably isn't going locals night. Come on in, locals, get half off. That's the difference.
I think they are.
I don't think they are. But no, if you want to fix this, all you have to do is on Sundays make it, football day, and men drink for, half off. There you go. Fixed it. No lawsuit. There you go.
I mean, a lawsuit, it doesn't matter. They went under for legal fees.
Yeah, that's...
It's they didn't even get to the fucking lawsuit.
There was like that bakery in Oberlin that almost went under because of the cake. Like, it's kind of like the same... Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
This, 15
Was
years
this the
ago.
gay marriage cake?
Yes.
Okay.
They
I
refused
do
to make
remember
that cake, and Oberlin, students were over there smashing their windows every other week.
Yeah.
But now they're fine because Oberlin had to pay the money because it was proven that the professors were telling the students to do it. Great education. But no, to go back to this, that's how you fix it. You just, all right, men, when you come in to watch the game on Sunday, you drink for half off.
Yeah, have like a dude's night.
Yeah.
Dude's night.
Dude, Saturdays? Because Saturdays are for the fucking boys.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dude's night. Dude's night would be terrible. I would never want to go to Dude's night.
But all you would
go
have
to
to
a bar and it's like $3 draft beer.
No, it'd be so much worse. Beer's full price, but they have an Xbox 360 and
Nintendo
2
64.
games. Dude, listen, if you don't think I was listening on the way, if you don't think every YouTube douchebag that has a station that has a channel where they're sitting there and they're going, so I happened to get my hands on a Nintendo 64 and today we're gonna review it. I really like the way
I was saying it's going to be a collector's item.
I would play it.
That's what I said. I want to get my hands
Right.
on
Regularly,
Nintendo
though?
64.
Like, would you replace your Xbox with the Nintendo 64?
Well, no, because I use my Xbox for YouTube more than I use it for Xbox. But
hang on, real quick. For anyone just tuning in, the Nintendo 64, Russia's developing their own video game console because they don't have the ability to import Xboxes,
Right.
PlayStations, and
but they're also
Nintendos
being
anymore.
smart about it, going, it's not going to be an Xbox.
Yeah.
So, but I think the way, and because Putin's smart, he is. You can disagree with a lot of things that he does, but he's a smart guy.
I'd be his game
Excuse me.
advisor.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd advise video games for the guy.
Bet you would. So, but if they go into it with like a, hey, so let's do a Mario, but let's
Call me
make
a
it
fucking commie while I'm wearing an American flag.
let's make it set in Russia, and instead of the mushroom makes them big, it's a little
Hammer and sickle, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like if they do that, people are going to be all about it.
Super on the nose,
And
like
it's like
Like basically just modded versions
Yeah.
of the games. People are going to go nuts.
And it's Putin going through the game, and he gets saluted by all the
I would love
Pigeons.
Real quick,
Evan.
I love the national anthem, but like the Russian anthem, dude.
I don't think there is a debate. The Russian national anthem is the best national anthem.
When I was at TAM and Glenn Beck would play it as a bit,
you can't
dude,
say it's not fucking sweet.
like everybody, like we'd all be like, "Oh, it sounds really good."
And everyone knows it. Name another national anthem you know. Canada doesn't count.
Oh.
Because they're not really a country. Their
Isn't-
prime minister just resigned.
That's great, isn't it? Like we got Raw and that moron stepping down. This is a great day. That
Great
little
Jan
cuck.
6. Great
Oh
Jan
my
6.
god, that guy was so Did you ever see his interviews? Like,
Oh yeah, no, he's a piece of
like
shit.
no, like full form. And did you ever see him when he was in like their parliament?
No.
So the way that Canada does it would be like, since Biden was president, if Donald Trump, because he was the leader of the opposition party,
Mhm.
they would debate right there on the Senate floor.
Oh.
And so, like, Trudeau's opponent would be like, taxes are too high. Farmers can't farm because they can't afford seeds. What are you going to do about this, Mr. Prime Minister? And he'd be like, I think it's so funny that you bring up these things because, as I recall, and then like everybody behind him just starts cheering and he says nothing. And it would be to the point his opponent would be like, well, you didn't say anything, but all right, I guess we can laugh and giggle.
Well,
it was that bad. Like,
I think my favorite part of it all is that Matthew Perry used to bully him.
I know
Matthew Perry went to school with Trudeau, and Trudeau has said on many occasions that Matthew Perry used to bully him in school.
I know a lot about Trudeau because
love
I know
Matthew
his
Perry.
stepbrother.
Oh.
He
Will
was-
Ferrell?
No,
So
he
you're
was-
a commie.
Well, no, it's funny because his stepbrother's the complete opposite. We both tour with
I think
Stryper.
we've talked about this, yeah. With the Stryper
which I might
talk.
not be the biggest fan of his. I'll be honest. Whatever. You might not see this. If he does, what's up? But yeah, he's not great. But it was interesting to get that look at that side of what he did.
Well, for ladies' night and times and prices, 216-859-8699.
You're listening to the Rebel Radio Show, legal in 47 states.
Hey, welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show, live on Uncensored. Jake Underwood's here.
Hello.
We're brought to you by GenericClothes.com. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point. Go get your shirts that say trademark, logo, political statement, or sports team, or band, or music
Local
artist.
radio.
Local radio, a shirt that's based off WSRR radio. So go ahead and check out GenericClothes.com right now and have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense. No one cares about the details. Get to the point at GenericClothes.com. Nobody cares what bucket you bring to Cinemark on what day is it coming out? This coming week, right? The Cinemark Bucket
Ladies' Night.
Emporium. The Cinemark Ladies' Night.
What was that? The computer wanted to say something?
The computer said a Ladies' Night. That was the Ladies' Night notification.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't got one of those?
Going?
I'm not a lady.
Oh.
She's a woman.
January 19th, 2025, Cinemark is having the Open Bucket, the Bring Your Own Bucket promotion.
Open container night at the Cinemark.
Not open container night at the Cinemark. You can drink at Cinemark, though.
Yeah, you can.
Why
Some
are
of
they
them.
doing this?
Because it's National Popcorn Day.
No, it said something about hygiene.
Well, yeah, there's restrictions on what you can bring, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, the customers can bring their containers, but their size and hygiene. So, what, you can't, like, spit in this thing and then go, I want more popcorn?
You can containers have to be clean and have a capacity of less than or equal to 400 ounces. What is 400 ounces?
I want the Home Depot bucket.
That's what my first thought was, is bring a Home Depot bucket and get popcorn in it. And that's clean.
I'm trying to think.
As long as there's not cement mix in it.
Well, what, 16 ounces is a pound?
Why are you converting to pounds?
Because I want to.
Why are you weighing it? That's not going to be helpful.
Because
in this.
what is an ounce?
Well, you can have liquid ounces, and I'm sure if you're measuring by bucket, you're measuring by liquid.
We don't do liquid ounces.
Fluid ounces, by the way.
Thank you. No, I want.
I'm sorry, is a liquid not a
I
fluid?
want 10 pounds. I'm sorry, is a fluid ounce and an ounce not a unit of measurement?
It's 25 pounds.
Is an ounce?
You could have something that carries 25 pounds.
No. 16
400.
ounces in a pound. An ounce?
I was so confused right there.
Yeah, or if you want a conversion that'll actually help you, there's 128 fluid ounces in a gallon. So a little under 4 gallons. About 3.5 gallons.
Of popcorn?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Okay.
You can get
you could get pop in that as well?
No.
No.
So hold on, you telling me
just
that
the corn, actually.
So you're telling me we could go and take
Miss Shane.
cut like two you invited me, buddy. 2 Home Depot buckets in half?
Well,
I'd be like, I want this one full of Dr.
How many
Pibb.
ounces is a Home Depot
That's
bucket?
what I'm looking up now.
I just bought one of those, by the way.
Well, take it to Cinemark on the 19th.
Nah, I got rock salt in it now. Yeah.
Well, that'll just make it a little salty.
Oh shit, that's all you
It
need.
doesn't necessarily
Salty
make
popcorn.
it unclean, right? Home Depot bucket's 5 gallons. So, like, 3/4 of a Home Depot bucket.
And I
Yeah,
mean,
mark-
they're like yay big. Wow.
You think if you marked it out on
yeah,
there,
if you
they'd
mark
fill
the
it?
line and you just said the fill line.
Yeah, you got a fill line on your Home
Fill
Depot
to
bucket.
here.
Yeah. Or do you think they'd even check? Like, do you think this is something they're cracking down on?
No, they don't care.
Have you ever been to an anything but a cup party?
I would love to go to anything but
No.
a cup party. Well, they have
I'm just shocked you haven't brought up your fucking soup. I'm gonna be 2 cups. Oh, how many
bowls,
How
number
many?
one.
How many bowls of soup can I fit into this?
Hey, jackass! I don't need an occasion to eat 2 bowls of soup
I
at the
like to
theater.
go there and have my drink and my 2 bowls of soup.
You don't need an occasion for that.
You
The
can
great part about Cinemark, you can get 2 bowls of soup anytime you
You
damn
can
well
listen
please.
to that episode possibly at 3:00 on weekdays or anytime on Spotify.
It's true.
Off air.
There you go. There's a new one coming out tomorrow at the time of recording. Doesn't really help if you're catching this on a Rebel replay, but
Well, we'll just cut that part out.
bi-monthly on Tuesdays.
Edit
off air.
that.
It's live, pal.
Oh.
No, I think fill line on the
Hogan?
popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll actually give a shit.
Well,
I
I'm
don't think they're
wondering-
going to enforce it. Anything but a cup party is
Okay.
a party.
Where you drink out of anything but a
anything
cup?
but a cup. Yeah, you can't bring a cup. So like people bring like traffic cones and they tape the bottom of it and things like that.
Unless you're using
They
Flex
have,
Seal, it's not going to work.
I'm always using Flex Seal.
They
I thought that was part was a
buddy.
given. Not sponsored by Flex Seal,
Dude.
but we'd like to be.
Phil Swift here.
Let's get Phil Swift on the show.
Hell
He's
yeah.
probably not doing too much,
Dude,
right?
No, Phil Swift is doing
Phil Swift,
doing a lot.
216-859-8699.
Anyway, they have anything but backpack days at school.
Never had that.
Never had that.
You
Really?
had Tractor Day, though.
Hold on. I had Tractor Day.
You
so
had
calm
fucking
down.
Tractor Day.
Calm down.
Well, listen, we both kind of went to the same.
we went to school way our day.
What would you use on anything but a backpack day?
We didn't have that.
It started after.
Dude, we had pajama day, all right?
Anything but a backpack day started the year after I graduated.
So then you didn't
But
have
Yeah,
it.
so you're lying.
I said they have. I didn't say I have, assholes.
No school spirit.
None.
When I talk about Cloverleaf, I still say we.
Okay.
It's in my blood.
But I've seen
Sorry.
people use like the pool behind sleds and like somebody hollowed out like a old TV and was just carrying their
See,
stuff
that
in
seems
there.
excessive.
I really hate that.
Yeah. Like
I'm
anything
gonna
but
be
a cup
honest.
party's fun because like you're just drinking it. If I have to carry around books and like shit that I need all day,
Yeah.
in a TV, I'm out.
And then, see, my problem is I went to school with a bunch of idiots. So the teachers would be against it after the first time we did it because it'd be like, oh, I don't have my book left in my locker because it wouldn't fit in my TV. Like, no.
That's
they're
a
not-
common issue.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
You couldn't do that anymore. TVs are flat now.
Yeah.
You can't put them in the real small book bag. Like take out the screen of a modern TV. It's like a tray.
Yeah, just make it a tray. at
Anything
that
but a
point.
tray day.
There you go. Did you bring your own lunch tray to school? They just
Dude,
give you a styrofoam
sometimes-
one.
No, styrofoam, no.
Did you have plastic lunch trays?
Oh, yeah, dude. We had the ones from like the
Were you
80s.
in prison?
No.
Yeah, they were prison
Well,
lunch trays, basically.
Yeah,
Are you
no, they were.
serious?
Yeah, no, and they were all different colors. You'd have the green. It
Yeah.
was like green, yellow, blue, and red. Listen, brother, when we got a
Hey,
vending machine, it was a big deal.
If
all
your
right?
school has the money to waste on styrofoam
That's-
fucking trays,
that's true.
you're too damn rich.
Then on top of it, we did a good thing because we would teach the life skills because then they would go and wash the lunch trays.
That's why
in
Jake
fourth
Underwood's not
period.
regularly on the show.
I
They'd
mean-
wash the lunch.
Yeah,
you make
no.
the kids wash the lunch
No, for real,
trays?
because like and this is what I actually really like, and they
That was
still do
detention
this.
in my school.
Well, they still do this where they teach like the kids that have something wrong with them. They teach them those skills so they could go right out of high school and get a job.
I'm assuming you know firsthand.
Something wrong with
a
them.
friend
Is
of
that the
mine was in
politically
there.
correct way
Friend
to
of yours, right?
categorize?
Yeah, handicap,
Gotcha. There you go.
but not like physically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I went like this because I thought of Seth. Oof.
Just point at your leg. Is that
Yeah,
you
'cause
did?
I like cut it out.
Good.
Cut it out.
Good. Why are we talking about lunch trays? Oh yeah, fill your own bucket. I can't believe you guys had lunch trays.
Oh, dude, they were great.
Doesn't sound like it.
I liked them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, you smack it on the side of the trash can, then you stack them up.
That sounds terrible. That sounds like a bad time for the staff. Sounds like a bad time.
It sounds like job security for the staff. If we're going to be honest,
Yeah.
that's job security.
Someone still has to serve the lunch.
And it's money that's saved so you don't have to have a levy every 6 months.
Oh yeah, no, I always vote no on those.
Well, I mean, I don't think you're the only one in the room that does that. But I don't want that to be a quote that bites me in the ass 10 years from now. So
Fuck the kids.
nope, not going to go there.
No, we talked about that in hour one with Hollywood.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, we've been all over the place in 2025.
Yeah,
so
apparently
far.
the first half an hour I missed my commercials and the Diddy party conversation.
Well, no, it was more the Nickelodeon conversations, the Dan Schneider parties. But
Buddy Disney's
they're
doing
pretty
it too.
close.
They're all doing it.
Disney
which
just took
is-
like a massive money from
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Whitney Cummings. Is that how you know about that too?
Yes.
The CNN? Did
Yes,
you see that?
yes,
Dude.
yes.
Kudos
Why didn't we
to
bring
her.
that up?
Yeah.
Because I was going to.
There you
Kudos to her. Like she just went on there.
Who
she
is
just,
she?
She had a show on NBC. She got a little bit of fame from the early comedy roasts.
Okay.
She
if
was
anybody
around.
who is unaware, Whitney Cummings went on a huge
It was the
roast.
CNN. It was the CNN New Year's broadcast.
Like she brought up everything.
The White House chefs.
What was the one she said? It's funny. The party that's all about
Democratic
choice
Party.
didn't give us a choice for a
Yeah,
nominee.
they're
I was
busy
like,
propping up a body all year.
Yeah, dude. I was like, all right, there you go.
Really just touring them on their own network. Love to see it.
And then
honestly.
I like that kudos to CNN, and we don't say that often. I don't think anybody does. But the fact that she's going, can I still go? And they're
Yeah.
like, go for it.
Yeah,
Shit, why not? Go ahead.
like,
they
"Are
had
we
no
still
choice
on?"
at that
Right,
point.
because you can't cut her off.
Yeah.
Because if you do,
You're
then
gonna look
like,
worse, yeah.
it's all bad. But if you take it in stride, people aren't gonna like a month from now. People won't be thinking about that.
All in all, good move. Because if I'm sitting in the production room at CNN and I don't have a bullet hole through me,
And
if
I'm
I'm sitting
laughing.
in the production room at CNN, I'm going, well, in like 20 minutes the ball's gonna drop, and that's gonna be the focal
Right.
point of conversation.
Right,
not
people won't
this.
remember it.
Yeah, so
it's going to be a
good
clip that
move all
goes
around.
around, and each clip might get 1,000 likes each.
Right.
Yeah.
All in all, good move.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, no, it was good.
And then they zoom out, and you just see Anderson Cooper, and he's got this look like
He was having the worst.
you're not
time.
wrong. I mean, I don't like it, but you're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think.
fill your own bucket.
Yeah, I think more of the story is bring the Home Depot bucket and see if they actually
Or I think
set the limit for
to-
you.
well,
No, we're bring the Home Depot bucket. 216-859-8699.
cut off by the break.
Let me know what bucket you're bringing.
Bucket boy.
Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show.
You Uba Tuba son of a bitch.
Uba tuba piece of shit. You're a stinky rope.
Clip that.
Hey, welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show live on WSRR Radio. I just ripped the mic out of the holder, so that's good.
All right, I don't feel as bad because I did
pulling that. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I
when
did
you
that on
fucked up
off
the whole
air,
set.
and you
yeah.
guys sat there and made fun of me for it.
Well, speaking of set pieces, you mentioned something when you came in off air, not the show off air. That's not at 3 p.m. on weekdays. You mentioned something off air about a green screen.
Yes,
and being able just to go live because you have a green screen. But I came to the realization this week that I think a lot of people have green screens now because they're more readily available, and a lot of people use them more and more for shows. And I think I really like the practical set more. I like having the physical built set a lot more than a green screen.
So I like the green screen because when I'm on a call or if I'm doing a hit on a podcast,
or if you're doing a hit on someone,
I don't want it to just be blurred.
Okay.
I think it looks really fucking dumb when you just have your background blurred. Like, nobody gives a shit what is in your house. Why
That's
are you
how
blurring
I feel
it?
when I'm on like Zoom calls and
Right.
everybody zooms their back or like blurs their background.
Right, like nobody cares what's in the back.
point?
Nobody cares about your fucking trinkets.
Well, no, I get that, but what I'm saying is for specifically a show.
Okay.
Like if you're not just a YouTube streamer and you have your room in the background.
Right.
I'd rather have a physically built set, which again I know it's easier to get a green screen, pop a green screen. I just
Right.
think it's a crutch people land on now.
I think if
because you look
people-
at legit produced shows and they have a green
Right.
screen.
I think if people understand that when you do like the fake studio behind you, it looks really dumb.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does, no, you're not like people aren't going, "Wow, look at that studio! They fit in their house." Like they're not doing that. They know it's not real.
Right.
It looks dumb. If you understand that, then it's fine.
Yeah. Well, so like I have the record wall behind me, right?
You do have a record wall right behind you.
And
you can see it on the live stream. right
Really,
now.
my only issue with this record wall.
What's your issue with the record
Pam.
wall?
Well, most of them, other than Pam on Frank Sinatra's face over here that Shane likes to point out, my main issue with the record wall is most of the ones behind me are just boring black pressed records. If you go to hellbendervinyl.com, you can avoid that by getting custom vinyl records pressed exactly how you want them for your next album
Is that
release.
right?
Hellbender Vinyl out of Pittsburgh, PA works with local and independent artists to make sure their next album ends up more than just ones and zeros floating around online somewhere.
Wow.
Hellbendervinyl.com is the place to go because they're hellbent on quality, hellbent on service. Hellbendervinyl.com. You know who's not hellbent on quality or service is honey.com. I'm assuming that's probably their domain, right? Honey.com.
Oh, is it they say
coupon
they
thing?
save you
Yeah.
money?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Well, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. It's been proven. Have you been following what's been going on with Honey? Honey is now the focal point of a class action lawsuit.
Hold on, why did you introduce that like Jay Leno?
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
So, have you seen that? It's a honey.
Have you been following what's going on?
Well, here's the thing.
Here's a headline.
Since we kicked Jay Leno's ass, since we found him on the street and beat him into a pulp
Yes,
twice,
okay.
I think I've inherited the right to take over that bit.
Oh, well,
have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Wow, what
That's what I said to him as I was punching him in the eye. I said,
Look
"Have you
at this
seen this?
Dorito.
Have you heard about this?" And I gave him an uppercut.
It's Dorito. It's triangle. It's nacho cheese.
Yeah. Why
Have
is
you
Jay
seen
Leno
that?
talking about Dorito? No.
Oh, dude, it's a commercial he did back in the 80s.
Oh.
And they tell him just like freestyle about Doritos. And literally he's like, "Oh, wow, look at this. It's a
He's
triangular
never eaten a
little,
Dorito before?
triangular little chip. Wow, look at this. It's nacho cheesy. It's wonderful."
Well, you didn't hear it from me, but there might be a certain company that produces triangle nacho cheese flavored chips who might have had some pay out for a couple vigilantes to beat up Jay Leno. You didn't hear it from me. It might just be speculation, but
Nabisco.
that's what I hear.
Yeah. Hostess.
But a less sweet snack, honey. Honey has been found to be a scam. You're a stretch, fucker.
What's up, brother?
All right, brothers, let's talk about honey.
Yeah, so there's nothing sweet about this scandal.
Yeah. Honey is the, like 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. It popped into existence.
I think sounds so, right. Yeah.
And it's a browser extension. You install it. It's supposed to give you coupon codes.
If you
to save
heard
money
about it,
shopping
it's
online.
because it sponsored a YouTube video that you watched,
Yeah.
and they would do the thing where they're like, "Oh man, holiday shopping. Good thing I use Honey."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, one of the most sponsored or one of the most picked up sponsors, I'd say.
That and Squarespace.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Squarespace was everywhere.
And every guy uses Manscaped. Shut up about Manscaped.
Yeah.
Like, more than likely, we got a way to take care of that. We don't need to hear about how you're clean down there, bud. We're good, thanks.
Yeah, that's so for me, listening to a podcast or watching a YouTube video, that's when you know they're like taking any sponsor.
Yeah.
Is when it's Manscaped
Yep.
and when it's Honey.
Right.
And what's the channel that put the most Honey videos out? It wasn't Mr. Beast, was it?
No.
PewDiePie?
No, PewDiePie was lower on the list.
Might be Mr. Beast.
I think it was somewhere. Yes, it was Mr. Beast because he was in the.
I was gonna say there's one.
Are we sure it's not this guy who's in the photo?
I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
No, he does like a tech review.
This is Shutterstock image, first of all. So there's that. Yeah, it's Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, Linus Tech Tips. There's a whole bunch of channels. Most likely, if you've watched a channel that wasn't Markiplier, they've probably been sponsored by Honey. But Honey, the reason they're under fire is here's what's going on.
What's going on?
So when you get an affiliate link, for those that don't know, is you essentially get a code or a shorthand link that you put in your description. So if I'm selling you this jacket I'm wearing, right? And I say, hey, if you like this jacket, the link's in the description below. If you
or
click,
an energy drink.
If I'm selling you an energy drink, if I'm selling you a Baja lime flavored energy drink or Voodoo, and I say, hey, if you want to try this energy drink, you can go to the link in the description and use this promo code.
Yeah.
And that promo code gives you 10% off at checkout.
Right.
And you go to checkout and you put in that promo code, you get 10% off. I get a kickback of that. And it's like $3, if that. Right. It's a percent of a percent, and there's a breakdown for obviously different creators get different percentage. But what Honey would do is if you sponsor your video through Honey, and you put your affiliate link for Honey in the description, when you go and click that link, a redirect opens in the second window, and that redirect then takes you to the Honey checkout, and it replaces that affiliate link with one of Honey's. So Honey is cutting out all of the affiliate kickback and doubling the profit.
Well, then they're really stupid for keeping just kept doing it.
Yeah, and that was my first thought is, how did nobody notice they weren't making money on Honey?
So I understand Mr. Beast not noticing that because he
just gives away money.
Yeah. But like,
he's also a bad person, by the way. So I'm
gonna be honest. I like the Beast games.
I'm gonna be honest. The dude's covered up pedophilia like 3 times.
Yeah, but Beast games is pretty good.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not putting that over it.
I might, but like Linus Tech Tips, like buddy, we know you don't have it like that.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You shouldn't just keep doing that.
To Linus Tech Tips credit, they were the one account prior to all of this years ago that cut their affiliation with Honey because they said, "Hey, we're not getting the kickback, and we don't know why, so we're not going to continue this partnership."
That's the thing I don't understand. If he's a content creator about tech tips, shouldn't he have understood what's going on?
Well, he was too busy
first?
going to lttstore.com to get his little screwdriver.
Well, I think that's why he is the only one that caught on.
Probably.
But
I know I just gave him shit, but like he's usually on top of stuff like that. Like if they mess up, they're the first ones to be like, dude, my bad. We told you this. This is wrong. It's actually this.
Yeah. But what's interesting to me is, so they found that out a couple years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Why wasn't it then news of like, oh, Linus Tech Tips came out and said, oh, we're not making money off Honey. We don't know why we're not getting the affiliate kickback. No one else looked at it and went, oh, yeah, wait, I'm not either.
It's probably because people were too worried about masks and COVID still.
That's fair.
It was all set up by Honey, actually. COVID was started by the Honey people.
Oh, my God, it was a honey bat.
Fuck.
It was in the honey market.
Those damn honey gliders, man.
Man. My Cheerios ain't taste the same since.
But what I think is crazy is when it opens up the redirect window, it simultaneously opens it, changes the affiliate code, and then closes the window, so you don't even know that it happened.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what Honey would tell these creators.
So not only, because just to add another layer to it, not only does it do that, but it also came out recently that Honey does not, or only gives you the coupon codes that it's paid to give you.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So if you're buying something off Micro Center, right, and you go to Micro Center's website and you put a PC part in your cart,
right,
and while there might be an active coupon for 50% off your total purchase, Micro Center, because they're using the Honey extension, can say, hey, I want you to advertise this 20% off, this 10% off, this $5 off. And those are the 3
Yeah.
coupons you're going to try, not the 50% off.
Right.
So a lot of people would look at that. We're looking at this scenario and going, well, you know, I'm not the creator. It's not really affecting me, but at least I know that I got the best deal still.
Right.
When in reality, it's also hurting the consumer because they're also not getting the best deal. And Honey's making more money off of it. So not only are they making money off you, the consumer, they're making money off the person they're supposed to be sponsoring, the affiliate link. And they just have this ever-growing pool of extra money they're making.
Well, I mean, how else are they going to make money?
And that's
like, it's just a bad business
Yeah.
model in general.
Well, it's PayPal, by the way. PayPal owns Honey.
Well,
Yeah.
this
So
makes
there
sense.
you go. But it's funny. A Markiplier clip resurfaced from like 6 or 7 years ago, where he's talking about Honey, and his whole crux. He goes on this rant of just, well, how do they make money?
Right.
I don't know how, but somehow this seems like a scam.
Right.
Because how are they staying afloat if
Yeah,
they're
it
just
doesn't
giving
make
you the
sense.
best deal and
Right.
it's not a paid product? So you know, it perfectly makes sense that it's a fucking scam. It's just crazy to me how long it took everybody to catch on to it.
That's like that, and it's still a relevant website because I still see commercials for it. The one where it's like, I got a PlayStation 5 because I sat on this betting. I sat at this auction all day. It's like somethingdeals.com.
We were just
But like that,
Deal Dash?
yeah, it's something like that. It is the biggest crock of shit.
Yeah.
Because you have to buy the bids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you don't just bid.
And then
so
it-
if you want to buy 100 bids, it's like $150.
And if you win and it's under their minimum bid, you don't get it unless you pay their minimum.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Deal Dash was like the biggest. I think their commercials got pulled from most networks because of that. Like I remember there being some kind of controversy
Yeah,
with
I
Deal
mean
Dash.
they were. I will say that they were everywhere.
Yeah.
You just like sitting down watch like Impractical Jokers or something. It's like I got an iPad for 2 cents.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I got this new Ninja blender for $3.
Right,
Yeah.
and if you did, it's the iPad from 10 years ago. It's Gen 1. Like, you know, like it's and people
Deal
don't know
Dash was
the
a hell of a
difference.
scam.
Yeah, and like nobody remembers that.
Yeah, no, it's exact. I remember doing a deep dive into that.
Deal
and, like,
Dash was rough.
having to buy the bids. Yeah,
it was. I watched a whole video on it 'cause the guy's like, "We're gonna try to buy a PS4 off of Deal Dash."
Yeah, and it ends up being like $500, $600.
Yeah, because they have to buy the bids.
That's crazy that it's still fucking active.
Oh yeah, I bet it is.
You can still go to fucking Deal Dash. That's insane. All right, just for shits and giggles, you can't even search on it. There you go. Give me a PS5. How cheap can I get a Deal Dash on PS5? Sold for just $63.78.
So $63.78 might be what they paid. Because
Buy
maybe,
it now for $2,420.
Right. So
That's the more legit price you're actually paying with these bids.
Right, and then on top of that, what they're not including is that if you want to buy 300 bids, it's $500.
Yeah. The conversion rate is insane.
Like, how is that not? What does it say up at the top? Start now, 14-cent bids.
Yes, 14-cent bids. Get bids. Let's see how much some bids are.
So it's probably free for your first.
I gotta sign up.
Yeah, it's probably free for your first 25 bids.
Yeah.
So then you could, 14 cents, 15, 16 cents.
Well, because
18.
with 14 cents, 15 cents, 16 cents, you're not meeting the threshold on any product.
Correct.
So you have to buy bids.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so then at that point, it starts to play to the, the gambler mentality in your head. We're going, well, shit, I'm already in $1.
Yeah.
And you don't. It's almost like a mobile game.
Yeah.
Where you don't
Microtransactions.
Right, like you don't even realize how much you're spending because you're just sitting there and you're like, well, I want more lives because I want to keep playing. Let's buy 50 more for $20.
Fucking EA needs to employ the Deal Dash team here.
I think it's the other way around. I think Battle Pass for Deal Dash.
Oh, dude, the Battle Pass Deal Dash, finally.
Shane would be walking in every other week going, guess what I got?
I don't understand how Honey is still like working right now.
So here's the fun part. There's a class action lawsuit on Honey right now, and it started by Legal Eagle, the YouTube guy, the lawyer. He filed a class action lawsuit against Honey, and you got to be a creator, obviously, they're sponsored by Honey to sign up.
Right.
But they're seeking the money that they pocketed from, number one, the affiliate links, and number two, the consumer coupon codes that were being missed.
So PayPal is just going to sell Honey.
I would assume.
Before they have to deal with all that.
I would assume.
Okay.
There's going to be a settlement either way.
Yeah.
They're either going to sell the company off and they're going to pay them out with that, or they're just going to settle.
Right.
Because, and again,
and
this
I mean,
this is the
that
part
lawsuit's
that sucks.
going to take 6 years.
Well, this is the part that sucks about it is if it was a class action lawsuit like everything else, like an A&W class action lawsuit, yeah, I bought root beer. I can go sign up for this class action lawsuit, and maybe they'll send me $7, right? This is specifically creators who are making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars daily. They aren't really going to give a shit if this gets settled or not.
Yep.
They didn't notice enough to notice they weren't making money off honey, which I still think is a crazy aspect.
Yeah.
You sign up for a sponsor and you don't know that they're not paying you, and then so you don't notice that. Why would you ever care if this actually goes through?
Does that also fall on YouTube?
I feel like it should.
Everything's kind of bundled together.
I feel like it should. I feel like there should be some, and again, because it's PayPal, I'm sure they'll get out of it regardless.
Yeah.
But there should be some kind of YouTube intervention here where it's like, hey, yeah, our platform openly let everybody advertise this scam. Probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Because it is a scam.
Yeah, but they're just, they're going to end up selling the company to somebody, and they're going to go, well, we're really sorry about what happened there, but there's not much we can do about it. And everybody's going to go, oh, I understand.
Sell it to Cash App.
Well, a lot of PayPal is just a scam.
PayPal's rough, and they get hacked a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with PayPal. PayPal's always in the news for data leaks.
Yeah,
Anything that I see online that you can pay with PayPal, I completely just leave the website.
Which is why TikTok Live is kind of sketchy in a way, because they do everything through
all
PayPal.
the gifts and everything are through PayPal.
Well, so there's another layer to the honey thing with the pay with PayPal button.
Okay.
So if you go to say it's a direct link, right?
Yeah.
Instead of the affiliate link, they have a direct link to the honey checkout.
Okay.
You go to the honey checkout from your channel, and you'd think from there, put in your credit card information, get your discount, and go. If you use the Pay with PayPal button, which you're already doing because honey is through PayPal,
right?
So it's going to a PayPal transfer. If you use the Pay with PayPal button, it then redirects it again to a PayPal transaction, and honey gets the credit for it there too.
So they're double dipping.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that if anything, the government, if they get involved in this lawsuit, that's gonna be what speeds it up. You can't double dip.
I was gonna say, I think if anything is going to actually solve this, it's gonna be the IRS.
Yeah.
But they're too busy looking at tax filings.
Yeah, they're too busy going after the guy who didn't claim $5, so
Yeah.
they want to put him in prison.
Yeah. Yeah, honey's a fucking scam.
Wow.
Honey's a scam, and most content creators are involved. And again, I don't think most content creators are at fault.
They had
because
no
they're the
idea.
ones that got fucked out of money in the end of it.
Well, a lot of the times they also have like a team that's like, hey,
Yeah.
we're now sponsored by this. You have to put it in your video.
For the people, and I know there's content creators that are just solo guys too.
Yeah.
But for the content creators like that have a team and it's well documented they do, like Linus Tech Tips, who did catch it, I'd be firing whoever's in charge of the sponsorships.
Yeah.
If you're telling me that we're going to be sponsored by Honey, and then we're not actually getting any of the fucking money that we should get from our
Honey.
affiliate links,
Money from Honey.
why are we not being notified that we're not getting that money?
No honey money.
Or they did something like, oh, you'll get it quarterly.
Yeah.
And then people just didn't think
check
about
check
it.
back.
Yep.
Yeah. I think there should be a class action lawsuit, and I don't know how legally you'd process this for people that used Honey.
I don't think you could do that because technically they didn't lose anything.
No, but it was presented as false information of
But
getting
did-
the best
Yeah,
deal.
false advertisement.
But did they get a deal?
But it doesn't tell you get a deal. It says you get the
does it
lowest price.
What does the fine print
Well,
say?
So even if you don't even find a deal with Honey, they still replace the affiliate code when you go to check out.
Right,
with Honey.
but so that has nothing to do
So
with the
sometimes-
consumer. who
Yeah.
used it.
Well, it does because the consumer isn't actually receiving any deal if they can't find the deal through Honey. But Honey is replacing the affiliate code.
What does it say in the fine print?
Who the fuck knows? Does anybody read that?
That's why we're here.
And that's why they would get away with it.
Oh,
you have to read the
speaking-
fine print.
Speaking of the fine print,
Uh-oh.
This is like real off topic, and I apologize, but Pokemon Go updated their terms of services, and they're actually making a geomap of the entire, like, they're using people's footsteps and monitoring to make a map.
Well,
and
yeah.
any of the buildings that they're unsure of or they don't have, like, on their map, they'll put a Pokestop there or a gym, and people will flock to it, take their pictures, and
Right.
Oh, that's shady.
and now they understand what that building is, and they add it to their map.
Or alternatively, you report it because you can report Pokestops as like a gravesite or something, and then they
Yeah.
get that information. Anyway.
Or they just go to Google Maps.
Yeah, they could
And
just
they
do
get
that.
to, and they get to read every review and every picture taken by some dickhead who thinks they're helping the world by posting it on Yelp.
Yeah. Everyone should take their house off Google Maps, by the way. That's something you can do. You can just talk to Google and be like, hey, I want my address removed. Here's proof of address.
So I got into it with somebody on Instagram. This was like a month and a half ago because they kept posting pictures of like their kids. Oh, no. It was after the squirrel.
And you're like, damn, those kids are ugly.
No, the squirrel incident.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I go,
Justified.
Stop inviting the government into your house.
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't have to worry about that because this is America. Stop inviting the government and bad people into your house. Because let's just because people say government and immediately they got to go like, "Durr!" They get mad. Okay, let's not invite the creepy fucking people out there into your house. Because if they notice you have something nice, they go, oh, shit, I could take that. What kind of door lock do they have? Oh, I can see what kind of door lock they have. Fuck it, I'm just going to break into their house and take it. Stop doing that. Like at that point, you're just inviting these people in. Don't do that. If that guy, for clout, didn't want to post his squirrel on social media, the squirrel would still be with us.
Yeah.
Like
he
it
would have just had a pet.
Right. It falls on that guy because he wanted likes and retweets. Stop exposing your life for likes and retweets. You have to stop doing that. You invite the bad people in.
People don't realize that they're promoting these
Right.
activities when they do. As well, it's just like buying a shirt that says Coca-Cola, right? You are effectively advertising for Coca-Cola
Yeah,
for free.
right.
And you paid for it.
Right.
You are paying them to advertise their product.
Yeah.
That's why I go to genericclothes.com. Because I'm not paying to advertise anyone else's product. I'm getting the generic equivalent that does the exact same thing for half the price, even
Right.
less sometimes. Once again, that's genericclothes.com. Stick it to the big brand clothing companies. Have a laugh at their expense. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point. And if you're working on your next album, single, release, EP, go to synergymusicstudio.com. They're based out of Chicago, so if you're in the area, stop by and see Matt and the crew there and even get a Synergy Naked session. That's their live video performance that they tape, master, mix, and produce for you in-house. But if you're not in the Chicago area, you can still take advantage of their mixing, mastering, easy for me to say, production, masting. They're big ship guys. They build masts. Don't go there looking for masts. Go there looking for audio production. SynergyMusicStudio.com.
Mastering.
You're doing a really good job this.
Hey, SynergyMusicStudio.com. You can read it all for yourself, all their details there. And go to HellbenderVinyl.com. Once you get that album, track, or single mixed and mastered, press it on something that's not just a bunch of ones and zeros floating around the internet. Get your custom vinyl record pressings at HellbenderVinyl.com because they work with the local and independent artists in the Pittsburgh area. And all around the world. HellbenderVinyl.com to start that journey today. And you get 5 free test presses, absolutely free, when you go to HellbenderVinyl.com. So go there today.
I mean, that's a great deal, especially, if LimeWire taught us anything.
If LimeWire taught us anything.
It's that, piracy is terrible.
It's rampant.
And it affects not only us, because you have to hear, like, remix, DJ, at the beginning of it, but it also affects the artist who's trying to get, their art out there.
And where do you hear more local and independent artists than WSRR Radio? It's live 24/7, 365 on WSRRradio.com or on the Live
Pandering.
365 app.
This is pandering.
Take us with you wherever you go. Check out all the great local artists from all around the world. You get the full showtimes, schedules, and more on WSRRradio.com. That's your morning drive. You get the Indie Insight. That's morning interviews with local artists. You get the grab bag, randomly hosted shows by WSRR artists. Or WSRR hosts featuring these artists.
Wow.
You're really throwing me off here, Jake.
Why? Not even doing anything.
You're just staring at me with those beady eyes, son.
You ooh-woo son of a bitch.
There it is. And you get Behind Enemy Lines, your Cleveland sports show from Pittsburgh, hosted by Lucas D'Orazio and Dom Farrow. I got to hurry up and wrap this up. I'm losing my speech here. You get the afternoon drive. That's off air, the Pigeonhole and the Rebel Radio Show. 3 to 7 p.m. is the afternoon drive. Then, of course, 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern. True Vault Escapades, the Fallout-based radio drama from Preston Hardin that comes out every weeknight.
Those are pretty good.
10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, 10 p.m.
What time is that?
10 p.m.
Well, for more
Eastern.
information, schedules, showtimes, and more, WSRRradio.com. Join the Discord. Chat with all of us there. 216-859-8699. Until next time, I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Style. To my right, Jake Underwood.
Yep.
On the boards, Jules.
Adios.
Peace.